All right. We sat out all night and dried. So let's take these clamps off and see what happens. All right, well, it didn't come apart immediately. Let's see if we can flip it over. It is incredibly heavy. All right, let's try to move it. All right, it's up there. Now let's do some sanding on the bottom. Try to get this looking pretty good here. I've got about 6 hours of sanding in it after joining these bores together, and sanding is, let's face it, boring, but absolutely necessary. And but anyway, so I've been sanding on this thing, and I've got it brought in here. We've got it set up, taped off, and I'm going to be doing some epoxy. I just got some $1 plastic measuring cups from the store. You know what? I was looking at the size of these measuring cups, and they're 32 ounces, or they're 36 ounces tops. So I think I'll just do 12 ounces. That way I'm not at the very top. It says to pour the hardener into the resin and then stir for 6 minutes. This started out kind of milky colored, and it's starting to clear up. It's been 3 minutes. It does have a slight amber tint to it. It's not crystal clear. There is air bubbles suspended in this mixture. Dehowever, given my application, filling in these cracks and stuff, I'm hoping that it's not going to be too much of a deal. Alright, it's been 6 minutes. What it says to do now is to pour it into another container and to continue stirring for 6 more minutes. I have plastic underneath this wooden table here, and then I've got it taped off so that it can't just run off, because I don't want it to run off. I want it to stay on the table, and then I'm going to sand any excess down. That's the plan. We're going to have about 15 minutes of work time here. I'm trying to work this epoxy into these cracks here, and it's really accepted it well. And then this board here has a lot of places where kind of this whole side here, but for now, let's leave that. I'm gonna let this dry for 4 hours, and then we'll try it again. And maybe that'll be a good thing. Maybe it'll seal up wherever this stuff was going, and we'll be able to finish this thing off. Because this trough in the middle of the board right here is taking a lot of epoxy. And there is plastic underneath here, so I know it's not just running out on the ground. And it's sitting up flat on the table, so it shouldn't really be running anywhere. But I know those go through the board almost completely, and so I'm sure that there's some spaces there for it to go. So we're gonna keep working on filling them up. So, all right, well, we'll see you in 4 hours. All right, round 2. You hear those air bubbles? Listen.
Yeah.
Those are air bubbles in the wood I'm pushing out. So I'm trying to fill these seams up here. You can hear it. We may need one more round, but we've about got it. It's staying in the cracks a lot better this time. It's not just feeding out into who knows where. So I'm going to take the heat to it and see if we can start wrapping this round up. last batch. All right, well, it is done. We're gonna let it dry, and then we'll take this tabletop back outside and sand all the excess off. So again, the point of this whole process here was to fill these voids with the epoxy. And this board here, I don't know if y'all remember, but this board here has these kind of fissures that run all through this board, and I didn't want those to stay there because because you just don't want that stuff in your tabletop, you know, you want it to be full. And so, and I've accomplished that. All those fissures are full of epoxy, and I'll sand it all back down to wood. As far as where wood is, and so there will be epoxy left. This is the goal anyway. There will be epoxy left in all the fissures, but there will be wood all around it. And then I'll stain that wood, and then we'll come back through and urethane this tabletop. And then we'll have us a table. So here's the thing. This has a 72-hour cure time, which is like forever for me. So we're gonna let this sit for 3 days and harden before we can start sanding it back down to the wood. So see you in 3 days. All right, it's been 3 days, and now it's cured out, and now we're gonna sand. Well, we're just gonna start sanding on this table. I've got the bottom side up right now. Here's the epoxy that overflowed through the cracks. I'm gonna sand it down first. That's also kind of a cheat for me to test out my sanding to see how it's gonna do. But hopefully it's gonna work out good. And but anyway, so we're gonna get started sanding this tabletop down, sanding epoxy with a belt sander. So yeah, let's get started. That's as long as you can run that belt sander. That's unfortunate. These face masks are good for something. I didn't want to breathe that epoxy dust while I sanded on this table, and I don't think I did. This table is ready. The last thing I did was wet sanded it. Now, that wasn't for the wood, that was for the epoxy. I wanted to give just a little polish to that epoxy that's there so that when I start throwing my urethane down, it comes in good. Man, it's been a long day, but a very successful day. I'm very pleased with this tabletop, and I can't wait for this thing to dry. I'm going to take it inside now. It's too cold out here to do stain, urethane, and all that. So I'm bringing it inside, going to get it ready, going to get it set up. We're going to start staining. That's on the next video. Well, not the next video, but the video after that. The next video is going to be me building the base. We're about to wrap this thing up. We've got some stain to put down, and then we attach it to the base. We urethane it, and then we're done. Hope you like this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.